Hello everybody, welcome to MakingLifeDeeper.com. Today I want to share a project with you that's a new concept for me. I'm going to call it a round robin letter. Now, when I learned about this, I was at a book club discussion. We were discussing a nonfiction book about friendships, and just this author had kind of traced her history of friendships and how they developed and the ones that she sustained and so forth and so on. The group that was discussing this book had a wide variety of ages. And one of the more mature ladies shared this idea, and she had been participating in a round robin letter for 40 years. And she said that it started when she had lived internationally, and the group of friends that she had there, when they moved and everybody kind of scattered, they came up with this concept. And I had never heard of anything like it, so I'm going to try to explain exactly how it worked. But basically, in my example, I'm going to say 4 families participated. I don't actually know in her situation how many families participated, and it could be any number of families. That would be up to you. But so you would have an order in which the letters would be mailed. So you would have 1 through 4 families. To start the letter, the very first person on the chain would just write a letter and send it to the second person. The second person, of course, is going to read their letter, include it in the envelope to mail forward, and add a letter. So number 1's letter and number 2's letter now go to person number 3. Person number 3 is going to read those first 2 letters, going to transfer those letters to a new envelope and include their letter, and then it would make it to person number 4. Now, person number 4 is going to read all the letters and add their letter and send it back to person number 1. Now, this is the first time person number 1 has actually received the letters. And so they're going to obviously read the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th family updates. Their letter is still in there. So they're going to pull their letter, rewrite a letter, including the new updates, add it to the envelope. Now the envelope has 4 letters again. We're going to go to the 2nd family again. So now the 2nd family, they're also receiving it for the 2nd time. The first time they received it, remember, it was just from the letter from the first person. Now they've got all these other families' letters in there. A 2nd letter from the first person and their original letter. They're going to pull their original letter and add in a new letter, put all 4 letters together, and go to the next person. So the order always stays the same in terms of who mails to who. And every time you receive it, it's always going to have 4 letters, 3 of which should be new to you, and 1 should be your previous letter that you're going to remove and add in a new letter. So if that's confusing, listen to this again or read the write-up. But I thought this letter idea was just so neat and interesting and fresh. And I personally just love a pen pal situation. And so I'm going to share with you some modifications. First of all, I Googled this concept of a round robin letter and found that it's really commonly associated with Christmas letters. So you could have a group of friends where annually you all agree to just send an update letter. You might not do this to your entire Christmas card list, but just a select group of people where you really want to update them. You could update everyone annually on your Christmas card list. So this is kind of a common practice, and it's an annual update. But it doesn't have that same feel of the round robin letter. Another thing I wanted to bring up is that if you were going to do this, you might set some parameters at the beginning where to say something like, when you receive the letter, take in the information and please pen your letter and send it back out again within 4 to 6 weeks. Give some kind of realistic time frame where it doesn't feel like you are having to do it all the time, but yet it's moving forward. So for instance, if you had 4 families involved and everybody got a month for easy math to send the letter forward, then you would get the letter every 4 months and you would send the letter every 4 months. And that feels very doable in my mind in terms of a time commitment, and the benefit and the payoff of getting to keep connected with those families is awesome. Lastly, for an update, I wanted to share my personal experience, which was not the round robin letter that I've just shared, but I just reached out to a person that I had lost contact with. I didn't see that person in my life. I didn't email or call them. They had just kind of fallen out of my sphere of contacts, and I had this idea that I wanted a pen pal. It had come to me after I had read a book where this idea had been presented, and so I just wrote her a letter and said, hey, you know, we haven't been connected lately, and I would love to stay connected. How do you think about being a pen pal? And so I've actually been in this pen pal relationship now for between 3 and 4 years, and we just we agreed with the time frame, and we sometimes hit it and we sometimes don't, but we always move forward. I send her a letter, she gets my letter, and she sends me back a letter, and I've kept all of my letters and all of her letters, and it's just almost like a journal entry for me of kind of seeing what's gone on in my life and in her life, and just the contact. I'm so grateful that she said yes, and I've just so enjoyed having a pen pal. So that's another variation. If you can't think of 3 families you want to round robin with, but you do have that one person you wish you were still connected with, but it's just not gonna fall into your daily interactions, think about a pen pal situation. So we try to write every month, me and my pen pal. So about 6 times a year I write her, and 6 times a year she writes me. But again, if we fall a little behind, it might be a little bit fewer times a year. But it's very doable and very rewarding. So please read the write-up if you want more instructions on how you might get this going. But pick some people and start writing some letters. I think it's really fun. I think you might like it. Enjoy.